and we can only produce 10 million. The number 2 consumer of oil right now worldwide, number 2 is now China. And it consumes 8 million. By 2030, China will consume more oil than the United States. Right now, it's predicted on a worldwide basis, truly, we can produce 80 million barrels a day, and we consume in the winter close to 90 million barrels a day. We are at peak oil production worldwide. You can sit on the sidelines, or you can prepare your life for that and start looking at localization. We may have to get away from things like our SUV vehicles. We may have to get away from things like commuting to work every day and have more home-based offices. I know that there is going to, in our lifetime, be significantly changes in the way. Our world population is quadrupled in an oil age because it could supply that. But we now have whole cities up that are dependent on energy that may never get it. It will become a world of oil haves and an oil have-nots. Prepare yourself and your portfolio for that. Now, if we go, we've been all over the world. Even you talk about Russia right now. Russia is exporting oil all over the world. However, her growth domestically is so strong that within the next year, she is going to go from an oil exporter to using all her own oil for her own. We've been all over the world. Even you talk about Russia right now. Russia is exporting oil all over the world. However, her growth domestically is so strong that within the next year, she is going to go from an oil exporter to using all her own oil for her own domestic needs. Where does that leave the United States of America? Not many places. There you go. How many Canadians in the room? Who knows that we're proud Canadians right now of what I'm about to say, okay? Oh, yeah. All right. So, what we have going on right in the world right now, and this once again, 6 years ago, I said, look, here's the oil crisis around the world. There's the trend. How do we capitalize on it? I looked and I said, wow, it's in our own backyard. The United States absolutely requires this. Watch real estate. Watch oil. So you look, there is more oil, there is more bitumen in Alberta than there is in all of the Middle East combined. Okay? Now, you can sit on the sidelines and say, well, the subprime mortgage crisis is really hurting the value of my home, and I'm going to wait 15 more years before I invest in real estate because I feel really bad right now. I'm beaten up in my local market. It's never going to make any money. And you might be right if you live in Detroit. That gentleman who asked me. All right, you see, I cover everything little by little. And by the way, just so you know, Detroit, I am aware, had subprime. I know that it came down more. Next to Tampa, Detroit was number 2. It went down 9.3% in its housing prices, which is actually huge because you use a median when you measure that. So, and we're looking at, for the subprime mortgage crisis, the majority of subprime resets come up in March. And for members who are in the room, you heard me talking about subprime mortgage crisis long before the popular media. And I said, get out of your homes and buy. And that's the trend. Understanding that. Buying when no one else is buying. Selling when everyone else is buying. That's how you make lots of money for yourself. You can sit on the sidelines, or you can be an action taker, get involved, and make money. Alberta is absolutely the best real estate market that I have seen. The fundamentals are in place for the strongest market. Well, many of you in the room have been feeling you've been losing money. I've known many people who've been making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now, this next gentleman who I'm going to bring up in front of the room, He turned a $30 million portfolio into a portfolio of over $110 million in less than 2 years. This guy oversees 11 major real estate projects. This guy is the unofficial mayor of Edmonton. This guy has been the senior advisor to two of the top politicians in Alberta, including the finance minister. This gentleman is deep, not just on connections. He's also very deep technically. He has a very strong oil background. And I'm blessed to be able to work with this guy. In a lot of ways, I learn so much from him all the time. I am absolutely delighted. I am just so excited to be able to share with you a gentleman in a lot of ways who's my own mentor. Now, I know that when he comes up on stage, his wife is in the room, and she just came in a short while ago, so I know you guys are going to give this guy a really quiet welcoming. Let's hear it for Mr. John Tanzoni.